Hi, it's another hard day at the office, and we're actually in our real office at the moment, but we were in location X and we were filming something totally different than we did last time. So last time we were fishing for brown trout with dry flies, which is basically the most traditional way to fish with a fly. Now we were Nintendo fishing for Zander, so totally different, something totally new, and we wanted to try live fishing. So we were using live transducers, the Lowrance Active Target, and we wanted to see how flies work for Zander with live fishing. So stick around, there's gonna be some big Zanders being caught. So this way of fishing is probably the most talked about style of fishing at the moment, especially for Zander, pike, and we wanted to try this live fishing with a fly and show you how it works. And we were also using our new Merisuola Predator rods, the new Mama rods. This is actually one of the prototypes, and I was using a 9-weight rod from each one of these. So let's see how these work with big Zander. To be able to do this kind of fishing, we need an expert. So I've done this kind of fishing a little bit, but we have a real expert in this same building actually, and a really talented young angler called Antti Kalliosaari. He's done this live way of fishing a lot with the conventional gear, but he also fishes with a fly, so he's not unfamiliar with the bucky whip either. So we're gonna have a look at his setup, what kind of boat is he using, and the electronics that he's using on his boat. In this episode we're gonna speak Finnish, or Finnish and English. So when we switch to Finnish, it's gonna be easier for us to work at the boat and fish this style. But just click the subtitles on and you'll understand what we're doing.
Siinä on pikkuinen vene 3,7 metriä pitkä ja siellä on perässä sähkökone, sillä liikutaan. Ja siellä löytyy 4 ruutua takaa mulle ja sitten löytyy toiselle Antille yksi siitä keulasta. Saadaan sillä välitettyä tieto myös Antille. Ja ideana on nyt eri kaikunuoltajan tekniikoita käyttäen paikallistaa kalat mahdollisimman tarkasti ja nähdä sitten livenä, mitä siellä veden alla tapahtuu.
This is the second day that we're doing this with this live stuff, and on the first day it was very difficult. We got some followers, a couple of takes, some pike, but really the highlight of that day was hooking one good-sized Zander, which took really well, fought well, but at the end we lost it to this transducer mount and actually even broke the hook in the fight. So it was a nice action, but on that first day we just couldn't land any fish. So it was really rewarding to get one into the net.
Se veti anturi. Perkele!
So this way of fishing opens up so many new waters. At least I can say here in Finland we have thousands of lakes. So we have so many untouched waters, especially with the fly. We as fly fishermen generally are stream fishermen, we fish for trout, grayling, salmon in the streams. And of course pike fishing has been gaining popularity a lot in the past 10-15 years. But I think this is just a new way of fishing with the fly, and we have so many waters to do this. But we really, this helps us so much that I think this is the way to open these waters for us fly fishermen.
Mutta pääsääntöisesti ollaan ajeltu tässä vähän keskemmällä, uhat viihtyy näin keväisin, niin syvänteiden reunoilla, kutualueiden edustoilla. Ei mennä ihan sinne kivikkoon heittämään sit niitä kuhia kuitenkaan. Tänään me lähdettiin perkaan täältä, oli aika kova tuuli, niin lähdettiin perkaan täältä tuulen yläpuolelle tätä. Omien kokemuksien mukaan aika usein kuhat tykkää olla siellä tuulen päällä, ei niinkään siellä tuulen alla kovassa myllytyksessä.
I'm always fascinated with new things, and of course this opens up new ways of fishing, especially with the fly. In this kind of water, if I would be here blind casting, it would be quite desperate, I would say. And with these it opens up new ways to fish and of course learn more things about the life underneath the surface.
Sitten koitettiin tossa tosiaan lähteä vähän luotaamaan viistolla, jos olisi löydetty noita kuhia ja ei kerettykään ajaa kuin pikkusiivu, niin sieltä löytyi heti aika hyväoloinen kala. Ja nyt sitten tuolla Lowrance Active Targetilla koitetaan pikkusen käännellä silleen, että pysyy keilassa. Kato. Onko? Noniin. Oliko se hyvä? Ei ollut mikään hirveä. On ihan näin.
Yes.
Hyvä.
Let's do that in instant replay so everybody understands what's happening. So I have a recording here and I'll just go quickly through what's happening. So the numbers on the top of the screen is the distance from the boat. So you can see that angle or the line there on the top, that's 0. And you can actually also see -2. That means you can actually see 2 meters to the back as well. And then the numbers on the side is the depth. So you can see how deep we're fishing and how deep is the fish. So we zoomed in now, so you can see better what's happening. You can see the fish and the fly is on top of the fish coming in, and it's cool. You can actually even see the big front part of the Zander and even the front fin. And now the fly is coming on top. The fish notices the fly, and a really cool take. It just comes up and grabs it. And at that point, it's really important to try to make a hard strike. And like I said, I like to do it by pulling from the line, strip striking. And this time, we ended up hooking the fish properly, netting it, and well, you saw what happened. This is a really exciting way of fishing because you see all the live reactions from the fish and everything underneath the surface. But then again, it's also a certain kind of video game. You can actually comment yourself below. Is it a video game or is it fishing?
Okay, we were close to shore, so we thought that we come here. It's a nicer place to measure it than let it go, but it's a nice fish. Let's take a quick measure.
Well, 75.
Yeah, 75. So a nice size fish, especially with the fly. But it's a nice size Zander anyway, and after a lot of work, maybe we're onto something with the color. Let's see. At least we got some reaction on it. So I've been using 9-weight rods. 2 of them. This was the Merisuola Predator 9-weight. The other one was the Mama. I actually just changed to this setup that has the Sync 2, Sync 4 granddaddy line, so it's a little bit deeper sinking line. The other one has an intermediate, but this doesn't have any weight, or there's not a bearing on the lock on this one, so it actually sinks a little bit slower. Especially the fly sinks, it kind of hovers more, so maybe that's a good thing, I don't know, but at least we got it to take. So a couple of changes that we made. I changed this setup with the deeper sinking line, and this tail seemed to do the trick as well. Here's some of the flies that we've been using today. We were trying this just actually a few days ago. The conditions were totally different then. They were okay, much colder though. It's getting much warmer now, so you can even see leaves on the trees now. You couldn't see that a couple of days ago. Hopefully the conditions are a little bit better, but one thing that we noticed on the first day, we didn't get a lot of action. But we did notice that all of these wiggle tails, dragon tails worked better than the traditional flies. So now for this day, I tied several of these, and we started off with that one, tried this one, a couple of others. We actually caught a pike with this one. And when I changed to this really annoying color, we got a first take for the tail, and after that, we hooked the fish and landed it. So it hasn't been easy. Actually, it's been really difficult to get them to take. We had really good offerings, followers, everything, but they just didn't take the flies. Yeah, so this is definitely teamwork, and I would say most of the work is done at the back of the boat. And Antti is one of the you would say pioneers with these stuff. It's time for Antti to tell a little bit about his setup.
Joo, eli setuppina veneessä siinä on 2 HDS-livesarjan 16-tuumasta laitetta. Toisessa on, sieltä tulee perästä 2 anturia veneessä ja perästä tulee siihen 2D DSI-kartta ja viisto. Ja toiseen 16 tulee keulasta sitten yksi viisto luotaan vielä. Saadaan aika tarkasti katsottua pienetkin kohteet sille. Tässä on ehkä pikkusen voi sanoa, että on yliampuvakin setuppi tällä hetkellä, mutta siihen riittää ihan hyvin. 2 ysillä pärjäisi vallan hyvin. Toiseen laittaa viiston, kartan 2D ja DS ja toiseen sitten vaikka tuo Active Target, jos live-hommia haluaa touhuta.
No, ei tää ihan ensimmäinen perhokuha tainnut olla, mutta oliko isoin tähän veneeseen?
Taitaa olla nyt tähän veneeseen perholla tullut isoin kuva,
niin,
mikä
just
on
näin,
tullut.
perholla, joo. Ootko tainnut muutama isomman saada ilman perhoa? Jos ei puhuta perhokalastuksesta.
Veneellä on ihan hyvä karma kyllä niinku isojen kuhien puolesta, mutta perhoa tulee vähän vähemmän tarjottua.
Kyllä. No, katsotaan, jos me oltais keksitty nyt jotain. The thing that I at least like most about fishing is learning new things, and this is really something new. Fishing for Zander, I haven't done that much with the fly in general, a little bit, but with this live stuff, with this Active Target transducer, I haven't done it really at all. So it's really nice to learn about the behavior of the fish. There's so many strange things going on underneath the surface that we don't have any idea. Before we had this kind of electronics, and we saw, for example, one fish that actually came and checked out the trolling engine of the filming boat. It just came up really close to the trolling engine and had a look and went back down. And of course we never would have any idea before. And also we saw the reactions on the first day that they followed all the way to the boat. They were right here. I could almost see them, but they didn't take the fly. And also the one thing that we saw is that all of these wiggle tails work better than the traditional flies. So thanks for Paolo Paccarini for these wiggle tails, because they really made our day.
Tuntuisi olevan ihan hyvä puru päällä ja varmaan kelillä on aika suuri vaikutus. Tässä on selkeä tämmönen pikkuinen lämpöjakso nyt tulossa. Pari päivää oli tossa muutama viikko sitten lämpöistä ja silloin tuli ihan hyviä kaloja ja nyt sitten tuli kylmä jakso ja nyt tulee taas sitä toinen lämmin päivä, niin selkeästi hyvä purupäivä sen suhteen. Joo.
Tässä on ihan tollanen aika hyvä kokoinen kuha. Tää on hyvä, kun mulla on tää oma näyttö tästä näin, niin pystyy täysin seuraamaan, että mitä sen perhon kanssa tapahtuu. Tietysti toinen vaihtoehto olisi, että Antti tuolta takaa antaisi ohjeita, mikä myös toimii, mutta kyllä tää tehokkuus menee seuraavalle asteelle sillä, että on tää oma näyttö ja pystyy.
Nyt on hyvä, nyt on hyvä, nyt on hyvä.
Niin kuin näkyy, niin tulostakin näyttää syntyvän nyt. Elikkä katsotaan mikä sieltä tulee. Nyt on
nyt pitäisi olla hyvä kuha.
Hyvän kokoinen kuha. Nyt on hyvän kokoinen kuha. Todella hyvä. Oh. No siinä oli tyylinäytö, miten tää tehdään. Eihän tää ihan joka kerta on näin mennyt, mutta nyt meni. Näyttäisi toi pyrstö toimiva aika hyvin, eli kyllä me nyt jotain keksittiin tässä näin, että selvästi toimii. Homma pelaa.
Homma rokkaa. Se on semmonen varmaan 90 päälle mennään ihan rapeasti. Veikkaisin.
It's a big Zander with a big head and really nice. Are you ready?
Yep.
Support the body. Well, this is the biggest Zander I've caught ever with any gear. 92 with the fly. 92 with the fly. That's... Oh my god, let's put it back to the net. Needless to say, 92 Zander is a big Zander for anybody, so... And it's a heavy one as well. Big head, thick body, beautiful. 10.8 with the net. So it's not 10 kilos, but it's not far off. We'll release the beast.
Nice fish.
Nice fish. You wanna release it, Captain?
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
1.5 kilos exactly. So 9.3 kilo Zander with a fly, with any gear. It's a big fly. It's a big fish. Yes.
Siellä menee.
Onko siellä lisää?
Eikö se ole sama?
Well, it wasn't the first 90 centimeters in this boat, but how many in general and how many this year?
Maybe,
over 90 centimeters.
Maybe 3 over 90 centimeter fish.
This year?
Yeah, Zander.
Zander, yeah.
This year.
Yeah. The biggest thing and the most satisfying thing about Zander fishing is the take. Anybody who's fished for Zander knows that the take is hard. And it's even more satisfying when we've had to work this hard for the takes. And now it's working, so it just feels super good. In the films that you see about this kind of fishing, this might seem easy, but that's quite far from the truth, at least with the fly. And in general, I would say as well, you know, it's a different thing to see the fish than to catch it. And behind those couple of success fish that we actually landed, there's been several fish, tens of fish that we've seen presented our fly in our thinking, actually presented it well, and they just don't take the fly. So it's after hard work, and we already have one blank day before this.
No nyt.
No niin, ja irti. Ai.
Well, we got it to take. I think it was just in between a strip. I couldn't really strike it well, so I think it was just because of that. I think it took okay.
No, tärppi.
Joo.
On tosi joku juttu tossa hommassa nyt.
On
toi on hyvä.
Ja siis toi oli oikeastaan eka, minkä sai osua sille.
Niin oli,
se oli eka kerta, kun se kala oikeasti näki se perho hyvin.
So Merisuola Predator rods, as the name says, they're made for predatory fish like Zander. There's two versions of the Merisuola rods at the moment. So we have the Merisuola Graphene, which is a little bit faster version, and this Predator is just a bit softer, really designed for casting these really big pike and Zander flies.
Kääntyy. Anna niitti. On se kuha. Näyttää hyvältä kuhalta.
It's exciting to see these fish following all the way to the boat, but at the same time with the fly rod it's really difficult to hook them because fly rod is a little bit softer than a conventional rod, and when you only have just your basically wire leader outside and the fish is just next to the boat, it seems that it's really difficult to hook the hard mouth of a Zander.
Ei se herää siitä.
We got this to take, but we couldn't hook it properly. Followed 2 times after I felt I hooked it, and it still followed 2 times all the way to the boat.
Onko? No niin, hyvä. Otatko tuolta käymään? Ei, on tumea. Mitä?
I'll just quickly go through the line choices that I was using. I was using the Granddaddy lines in a couple of densities. On the other reel I had the intermediate, and on the other reel or rod I had the Sync 2 to Sync 4, which is a deeper sinking line. And I actually had the slow-mo version with me as well, but I didn't end up using that at all. Although actually the slow-mo would have been good in some certain, with a couple of fish, because they were so up in the surface that actually even the intermediate was too much. So even Zander, they can be quite high up at times. But the intermediate was good, but when I changed to the Sync 2 to Sync 4, and I didn't have any weight on the fly, so I could keep the depth very well, we ended up having the most takes and action. So that seemed that was the trick of the day. But if you're fishing even deeper, you know, there's even the Sync 7 version, or the Sync 5 to Sync 7 version, which is the deepest sinking Granddaddy line. It's good to have different densities so you can cover all the depths.
Nyt oltiin ihan uuden äärellä. Jotain me vissiin opittiinkin tästä. Ainakin saatiin vähän tapahtumia ja vähän kaloja ylöskin asti.
Joo, aika haastavaa hommaahan tää tuntuu olevan, mutta ihan palkitsevaa ja varsinkin kun saatiin kuitenkin ihan hyvä actionia sinne ja tapahtumaa oli kuitenkin loppupeleissä aika paljon, niin mielenkiinto pysyy aika hyvin yllä kuitenkin tuohon hommaan.
Kyllä. Ja kyllä itsellä näistä perhoista varsinkin kyllä jäi niinku, nyt näki oikeasti sellaista niinku realiteettia, että oli värillä väliä, oli pyrstillä väliä, oli koolla väliä, oli oikeastaan niinku oikeasti jopa aika tarkkaa sen suhteen, että mitä sinne tarjosi. Se oli kyllä mielenkiintoista. Niin, toisaalta kyllä tämä avaa ihan uusia niin kuin ollaan puhuttukin, ihan uudenlaista kalastusta ja nimenomaan, että perhollakin tätä pystyy tekemään. So that was our story of live fishing for Zander. Really rewarding, hard and fun. And now on to the next one. And as we say in Finland, kala onnea.